knowledge. As we hop on the winners with last game, Sola Fide. Designful sending his team over towards their non-contested thermal station area, where if you were watching game number 1, we saw where the zone actually ended. In the back corner, Designful pulls off a 2 versus 1 against Sentinels to win this one. And now you get a nice little idea on how to actually loot thermal when you're not getting contested. It's best to land on the outside and then make your way in instead of going inside out. Sola Fide knows that best. This is their spot. They're going to be completely content on going and grabbing this for free.
Yeah, and for Sola Fide, they are one of the slower rotate teams because they like to fight on the edges, and so they will take their time getting the loot, getting the armor, everything that they need for success, setting themselves up that way. And this is what you're talking about, just getting every at last ounce of loot, as you can see, Designful enjoying basically a victory lap over in the area where they were able to win out just a moment ago, or in our last game. But let's go ahead and take a look at the zone here, as we do have a poll. It looks like it is going over to the east, but we can bring up the map. We'll have a better idea of where it goes. It's going all the way over to Fragment West, and so you're looking at teams like TSM, Flashpoint, sitting up for center zone here, making their way on in. But it's Team Rockstar that we're on board with right now. Got that Crypto Watson composition now, and already their armors look great. They've got 2 blues and a purple on Matt Pickett.
Yeah, you're right. Flashpoint is going to love this zone, and that's the last team that I'd want to set up. And someone in the chat pointed out last game that they had a great spot, but they had poor armors. And that's kind of the typical Flashpoint style. They don't really loot very fast. They're one of the fastest rotators throughout all of that. And because they're rocking the Watson a majority of the time, it's not that big of a deal if you don't have that many cells, as we do see the 50-50 that's happening over towards the Lava City side. But throughout all this, Cooler is kind of checking their back. 51, Nasty to connect on a headshot there with the G7 Scout 3X. Also has the blue mag. Mozam most likely is going to have hammer points on it too. So he has a pretty solid situation here for this long range and mid range. That player is going to cross. A couple shots are going to connect. But the longer this fight takes place, the more likely they're going to get third party from Dome, and they realize that.
Yeah, no, they will have to keep an eye on their backs, but it's just Yuki, the Overwatch. He's got that Sentinel. He's got the 4-8, spots one out. They're trying to rotate out to the northeast side. It looks like they will be able to safely navigate that for now. They still have some clear field to run through currently, but it looks like with Yuki giving away that spot, allowing them to go free, they will be able to just rotate out of this on board with Team Frax, who have someone in front of them. Oh, that's the purple that they hit for. Now the Niles will go ahead and start charging after them. The charge rifle shots coming in from behind as well. But it looks like might have made it out. Never mind. Clarify gets the knock onto Matt Pickett. Team Rockstar getting caught out at a bad time on that rotate. They have to give up on Matt Pickett for now. Tech can get into his drone, but it becomes very scary because you have that zipline access right there. But it looks like he will go for it and pick that beacon up.
This is big that they got to the building because we know the respawn's right there. Tech with the nice drone play, as you pointed out, Jamerson. So that's going to be great for Pickett to be able to probably get his loot back. I don't even think that team's going to waste their time going for that because it's in such a bad spot. There's a reason that Pickett died there. It's a very vulnerable situation with the wingman shots we're connecting. Great charge rifle shots across the map too. And now we see what LG and their thought process is. They're going to set up in one of the priority buildings. And this is where things start to get pretty interesting because we know Flashpoint is most likely over towards that broken building with the Watson setting up on that top floor. And I would say 80% of the time that they're going to be set up over there, that's where the zone's going to pull.
Yeah, and TSM just finished off ZIN, I believe, in market now. As, oh boy, no Cocoa Puffs in a fight. Actually going down first. It's Cooler to catch them out. We'll see if Cooler can continue that fight at this point, though. But TSM are sitting absolutely pretty. We got the 2 purple armors along with 1 blue here, as it was over at Geyser that Cooler were able to catch them out. And so that might be the squad that they've been chasing down. As you can see, Cooler were, of course, down over at Lava City, now over here at Geyser, and so they might have just given chase to that squad, ballooned on over to them. Here comes an EMP, though. And it looks like it is going to be Naskies as they try to use it to continue this push. Noko was res throughout all of this. Lyric now taking a lot of damage. port out from Noko to try and get the outside angle, but it's the full squad keeping an eye on him. He somehow survives though. Just back away. Nasty now sitting on that purple was able to evolve that Evo shield for himself. They get the knock onto Lyric, but it's a 1-for-1 exchange as Ace takes out Dell. Now it's a 2v1. It's all up to Noko. In this 1v2 situation, Yuki is dropped down low, but Nasty is sitting at about 100 HP, and Noko only has about 60. He's going to try and nade from the right-hand side, but does go a little bit wide. Ace gets thirsted. That's going to allow Nasty to go for that armor swap. And now it's all about Cooler finishing off this fight. Noko doesn't have any heals yet. He's trying to secure the thirst. The Arcstar is there. The ping's going down right on top of him as he's getting closer and closer to getting that thirst onto Dell. Finally gets the armor swap. That's an additional 75 HP. Goes out with that grab lift. The movement from the passive for Horizon is not enough. Cooler now to fight. They'll be able to quickly res Dell back into this.
Great fight there. Nice try by Noko, but Cooler with the superior positioning, getting onto the roof, and so difficult when you have to face Yuki with his arm shield, and he's just ripping you apart right there. And great armor swaps coming in from not only Noko, from Nasky too. You can see exactly why it's important that when you're on the ground, you have to finish those players because the resets can come through, and one armor swap will really change the entirety of the fight. You're saving cells, you're saving batteries throughout all that, and then you're getting that immediate reset. As we see what Team Liquid is up to on their rotation, they are fairly far from where this zone is going to pull. We're going to see them most likely playing the edge throughout all of this, but this is where things get a little bit tricky, is when you have to cross through this open space, making your way over towards train.
Now, it looks like the idea is to maybe just go over to the train tunnel and play on the south side of Fragment, or look for fights here on the edges while they move through train. One thing to note about that Cooler fight is that luckily for them, they do have the replicators over there, and so taking that time to fight, it should be okay. They should be able to recover their economy, pick up some extra batteries, and move forward. Team Rockstar ultimately were able to get the res on to Matt Pickett there, utilizing the respawn beacon on top of Khan, and he's already got himself that blue armor as well as they set up defensively. And luckily for them, this next zone will actually just end on the building, so they're not under too much pressure right now to make a move. So they can elect to stay here and try to get these armors up, utilize that Watson interception pylon to naturally heal up and really play the econ game here on the roof.
And the fact that Pickett is rocking the triple take with a decent amount of ammo is going to be pretty solid for pick opportunities as teams start to rotate, just like we saw Team Liquid trying to figure out what they're going to do. They don't want to go throughout all this open space. That's what Pickett did, and that's why he got punished from NRG a little bit earlier. So now CLG in a similar situation over here with a couple of long-range weapons. I think we saw a 30-30. Now we have the longbow. Lou bring it back. He's 3 away from being able to charge that up to Blue, and you can see with his 3 batteries, he wants to get this 3 more damage so he can actually use one of those and then get to full. So I like this strategy from Lou.
Yeah, super close. He just needs to breathe on someone at this point. As Team Frex, they are in position over here at the Diner building in Frag West currently, and they are setting up now as Team Timmy are making the rotate over from the Harvester side. They've got someone to their west. Don't know exactly who that is. Rocker's the one to go down. That's going to be Hawkes with that 30-30, and Bronzy instantly wants to punish and convert on that kill. The port has been used, and Hawkes will be able to finish off Rocker. Decent damage coming out from Bronzy here as he does have to back away from that black hole, and he has been cracked now. Designful holding on to that angle. What a lurk coming out from Sola Fide, punishing Alliance, and there's going to be no chance for that res as they are right on top of them. They've got the Wombo combo, the counter. Black hole is not going to be enough. The big boys getting in some cardio there, getting out of that black hole as Gentrifying will finish off Hawkes.
What a job by Sola Fide, creeping up with the 3-2-1 shoot onto Hawkes. Unfortunately, they're going to be now stuck very, very shambles. But there's a triple take coming through from the side. Gentrifying going to hit that controller armor swap, and Designful going to get inside the box as well if he can. But that was a very, very heads-up play from Sola Fide. Like we were talking about before, they're one of the slower rotators. They love to fight on the edge. That's a perfect example of that. But also, because Thermal just takes so darn long to loot, they've always just been playing edge because that's just how it goes. And then once that starts being your play style and you've practiced that the most, that ends up being what you're most comfortable with. So nice job. Now we see what Team Touche is up to on their rotation, and this is that kind of no man's land that we were talking about. It's very difficult to get past this spot. We'll see if Touche is going to be able to do so.
It can't be difficult unless you got some style. Deltouche able to basically slide his way on in. The scan is perfect. Spots out the entire squad inside that building. It's going to be cooler that are going to try and gatekeep them for the time being. They're not absolutely in position, though. Nasky currently in his drone. Does it look like Deltouche and company want to try and avoid that now? So they're making their way on over to No Name. They elect to just completely avoid this fight, which I would say that's a great call. They're sitting on all blues versus the purples of Cooler right now. You can see Nasky getting some valuable information for Cooler.
Yeah, big scans coming in from Nasky, and looks like they're going to have to rotate pretty far through, what, 3 or 4 different buildings, and it's going to be a difficult one to do. So I'm curious to see if they're going to make an early rotation now that they have that information, or if they're going to try to coexist into a building with somebody, or just end up playing edge throughout all of this too. So now we see what Team Razor's doing. Zeratricky actually got a knock throughout all of this with the Spitfire 2-4. That thing's going to be doing some long-range damage. You'd be surprised if you have good tracking like someone like Zeratricky, how well the Spitfire works long range.
Yeah, you really don't need a mag on it. 35 bullets stock. So you can just still hold down left click for quite some time now. Without catching out like the rest of Team Timmy. Bronzy going down, and it's just left to Timmy at this point. Team Razor still holding on to the north side, playing over here at Epicenter. And they were never able to punish, I believe, Team Deltouche. Sung was making that rotate through the train tracks now, and they've got their eyes off of it. And so they might have safely made it into Fragment East at this point. We'll find out in just a moment. This Team Razor, they have got their work cut out for them. They can continue to try and hold this side. They have someone to contend with on the ultimate high ground just across the ways as well. And luckily for them, it doesn't seem like there's going to be much other opposition in the way, as Team Liquid now making their way on in. Actually deciding to use a port. They might have tried to push up to the north to clear out some buildings for themselves and retreated back here at this point. A lot of this real estate, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be hard-earned to get. And Solofide still lurking here on the south side, catching out Timmy. They get the knock on him, and the patience coming out from Solofide has been such a treat to watch.
Also, pay attention to how Designful is leading his shots throughout all of this with the 2x on that R99, and now they're going to go most likely bubble this loot. It's exactly what their thought process is. You get a little bit safer into this situation. You can also have the controller boy stand still if they really need to, but now they're stuck in this little train cart with the team gatekeeping up over towards the height. Without the bubble here in the next 20 seconds, they're going to have to slow play this one. Defensive bombardment onto the roof, and then maybe even coexist in this building.
Oh no, Resulta trying his best to survive with a sliver of HP, has to run up here. And now he does have the bat for himself at the very least, but see if any nades get in. He will successfully get that bat off, but Team Rockstar, along with, I want to say that's Team Flashpoint, are just doing such a great job of keeping them pinned down for now. And with the zone closing in, will they be able to safely make it in right now? Team Rockstar, keep an eye on them for the time being. It's Crummy up here, and you can see you've been able to slowly upgrade their armor. Crummy got himself that purple at the very least. Don't know exactly how much Matt Pickett has. He's super close. 146 with that triple take, trying his best. They're keeping an eye now to their south here. It is going to be Solofide taking a lot of damage, using all their cooldowns. But have Rockstar done enough damage to go for the full commit? It looks like there's the drop down from Matt Pickett, but he is split up from the rest of his team, has taken a lot of damage and will fall down. Eva 8 has been pulled out as Tech answers back. The result and gentrifying down now to 1v2, but the zone is closing in, and they need to pick up Matt Pickett quickly. Here's the port, though, from Crummy to try and get his teammates back into safety, but Team Deltouche is in the area now to try and punish. Nades coming out, the port has been used, and they're going to go ahead and full send.
Very nice scan there from Deltouche. Also pops his ult directly at the same time, but there could be a third party coming in from behind. Shots are hitting Sung. He's going to be taken down to no shields. That's going to be Tech going down as well throughout all of this. Nice job finishing off that fight, but what a scan there, and a little bit of teabag coming in from Deltouche. But that was big because once they hit that, they saw the portal was there. They didn't know how weak that team was. They saw the down player, and that's the immediate send throughout all of that. But Pickett's still down, and the shots coming through as Team Touche is really starting to put the aggressive play on the Team Rockstar.
Yeah, and Liquid tried to come in for the third party, or at least were poking away from the position to their north. We know that they were playing basically that 2-3-story building just to the north of construction, and a little bit of the diner now. But this ring pulling basically how we expected it, going over to the north side of Frag West, as we have another fight taking place right on top of Team Valtouche. There is the black hole being utilized throughout all of this. Valtouche will go down as Liquid are trying to full send onto this. Flanker has dropped, and Zendem now backing away. Does he have the damage? He trades away with Albralele and Sung now left in this 1v1 versus Hotsick. Hotsick pushing up with that Horizon has done so much damage, but these knock shields are becoming such an impeding factor in this fight. Hotsick does win this one out, but they lose out Flanker throughout all of this, and with 15 seconds to go, not going to have time to hit that beacon to their east.
That's how you play this if you're Hotsick. You have to full heal throughout all of that. Very heads-up play. Nice job taking out Team Touche, but like you said, at what cost? Losing Flanker throughout all of that could be pretty detrimental to that end zone because of the fact that he is rocking that Caustic, and we know how important Caustic is going to be when it really comes down to the final circle here. Is Razor perfectly on the edge of this zone, but there's a lot of stuff going on in front of them. There's the black hole, there's a thermite. You also have caustic gas too. So now that bubble is gone, Muffins realizes that. He's trying to buy some time with the grenade. Throughout all that, they're also checking their back defensive bombardment coming through. Again, we know no bubble is there for Team Razor, and they're eating it from the side. Sunny with the Volt, just one clipping, and then you also see other fights happening. This is that rotation. Zone number 4, very popular for us to go from 12 teams down to 5 or 6 real quick.
Shame assist, almost taking out Flashpoint there, but Flashpoint barely survived long enough to get taken out by TSM. And now Imperial Hal will back away after picking up some of those kills. The last one to go down to him. Oh boy, snipe down. Drop down low, Na'Vi here on the high ground position. And this is what I was talking about for Team Razor. They need to worry about this squad. I was playing here on the northern side, and Na'Vi are doing this excellently. They should have the port for this next rotate, but trying to get any of these buildings that are currently in the zone is near impossible with 7 squads remaining. We'll see. Na'Vi, they do have 2 red armors. They've got the purple there, but it's going to be a lot of caustics in their way. We'll see if they can do some early scouting here with 30 seconds left to, or 35 seconds left to go before the ring starts closing, but they're basically on the fastest side of this ring closing.
Exactly, and they're going to be living in this building for quite some time. There's going to be a lot of different action that happens here. I'm curious to see if the building with the replicator on it, you can see just a sliver of that zone is in. So I wonder if a team is going to just kind of camp out with a Wraith in that corner and just let teams fight, and then last second they're going to pop out for zone number 6. But this has been a very action-packed game so far. We've seen a lot of different fighting over here. Na'Vi finally makes their move. It's going to be the Horizon coming in from the side, and you can see Strafe doing the right thing here. He's just locking things down with the Scout, with the Hemlock, making sure, again, no one's flanking from the side, and he's also going to be giving eyes to the rest of his teammates. So perfect execution coming in for Na'Vi. He's finally going to take that portal at the last second and get to safety. Playing the wall here was a great call.
Yeah, Strafe's done so much damage. He had 2k damage there, by the way, as EMP is being popped now, but they are stuck in the storm, taking so much damage at this point. And with no cover left to work with, Nesh tries to survive, but he will go down. It's TSM to clean that one up. Snipe Down has the armor swap onto the red Evo as well as he picks up additional loot. See how many nades he can pick up. He's got 2 at the very least of frag grenades. LG were the team that were playing over at Market, and they survived this scramble. Got CLG involved as well. LG, CLG, TSM. Who is our final and 4th squad left in this lobby?
A lot of big hitters still here, and what a job by Snipe down there, picking up the kill lead with 4 kills, taking down Na'Vi over the side. But CLG, a tough situation. Lou taken down to about 5 HP. trying to heal up, hitting that med kit throughout all of this. Has to be careful of the gas. One tick of gas, and he's going to end up being done. The bubble comes through. Great placement on that one. The other team's going to back off. A couple barrels flying in through the window as well. But it looks like CLG with that bubble has bought enough time to kind of reset. One grenade here could really change the title. Oh my gosh, they said it immediately. Luke flies out like a madman. The entire team's there. And now with just the longbow, you're going to have to reload that flatline. Madness is still fairly healthy throughout all this, but you're seeing Team Frex is doing a nice job kind of holding their own, but now it's just Frex himself hitting the battery, and they're not going to allow him to do that. CLG with a very aggressive team fight win.
They res just in time to at least run into the zone or start healing up. This is the slow zone now, as we have TSM on full reds here. They're spread out as Imperial Hell has taken the center of this circle, trying to keep LG box out of this one, but it looks like they were going to try and swing to the left, utilize that gravity lift for some mobility, but that's straight into CLG. TSM are just going to wait for this, and this should be their win. Madness gets the knock onto Rugby. Blue does go down, and that should be TSM going in for the full send now as the trades come out left and right. CLG are down to 1. TSM pushes up and take the win here in game number 2.
What a job by TSM. They're a fragment team, and the zone pulls their way, and they win it. Very nicely executed, but that team fight over towards the side against Navi was so crucial because we saw once you're able to push those two final teams in, how easy it is to go and get that third party. Hal finishes it off. Nice job by CLG, at least picking up some kill points along the way, but this was TSM's game.
Yeah, and most importantly, I mean, you saw, like you said, TSM doing a great job of just funneling LG into CLG, waiting for that and coming in for the third party. TSM were still active throughout the early and the mid game. They picked up kill points in the early